Have you ever wondered how much suffering an innocent animal can endure? Not an easy question to ponder, is it? Yet it's a question that's crucial to ask, as it brings forth the harsh realities that many animals face across the globe, often hidden from our sight. Today, we delve into a particularly distressing incident of animal cruelty, an incident that shook the world and left a deep scar on our collective conscience. An incident that unfolded in the heart of Saudi Arabia, involving the torture of a helpless baboon. The story came to light not through the investigative efforts of a news agency or animal rights group, but rather through a video that was shockingly uploaded by the perpetrators themselves. A video that showcased a level of cruelty that is hard to fathom, let alone describe. As the video spread across social media platforms, it was met with a wave of outrage and disbelief. People from all walks of life, regardless of their cultural or geographic differences, united in their condemnation of this heinous act. The public's reaction was swift and unequivocal, a testament to our inherent empathy for those who cannot defend themselves. Yet, as the initial shock subsided, a chilling realization began to dawn. This wasn't an isolated incident, it was a glimpse into a world of unseen cruelty that exists beneath the surface of our society. A world where animals are subjected to unimaginable torment, often without any repercussions for the perpetrators. Little did we know, this was just the beginning of a heartbreaking tale. What happened next was a shocking revelation of cruelty. The video that surfaced was a horrifying testament to the depths of inhumanity a person can stoop. The baboon, a creature known for its intelligence and social nature, became the victim of a gruesome act of violence. The events unfolded with the baboon being subjected to torment by an individual. The perpetrator, whose identity remains unknown, displayed a chilling lack of empathy and respect for the life of this innocent animal. The baboon was visibly distressed, its eyes wide with fear and confusion, as it was subjected to an unthinkable ordeal. The severity of the abuse was evident. The tormentor seemed to take a perverse pleasure in the distress and suffering of the baboon. Every action, every gesture was designed to inflict pain and terror. This was not a momentary lapse of judgment or a quick act of aggression. It was a prolonged, deliberate display of cruelty against a defenseless creature. Yet, we must tread carefully here. It's important to note that while we want to shed light on this horrific incident, we aim to do so without indulging in graphic depictions of violence. The details are disturbing enough, and our purpose is not to shock, but to raise awareness and incite change. This act was not just a crime against the baboon, but also against nature and our shared responsibility to protect all living beings. It was a stark reminder that in the midst of our advancements and achievements, we still have individuals who harbor such levels of cruelty within them. This act of brutality left a lasting mark on everyone who witnessed it. It was a stark reminder of the urgent need for stricter laws and enforcement to protect animals from such abhorrent acts of violence. The horror witnessed in this video is a call to action for all of us. It's time we stand up, speak out, and demand justice for the voiceless victims of animal cruelty. The aftermath of the incident was a whirlwind of anger, sadness, and demand for justice. In the wake of the horrifying act that had unfolded, the public was ablaze with fury. The internet became a battleground of words, and every corner of society echoed with the cries for justice. The incident had struck a nerve, particularly with animal rights advocates who were vehement in their condemnation. They rallied together, their voices rising in a unified chorus, demanding justice for the innocent baboon and urging for accountability. The public outcry was loud and clear, a wave of sentiment that refused to be silenced or ignored. People from all walks of life joined in, their collective voice amplifying the call for justice. The incident wasn't just an act of cruelty against an innocent animal. It was a stark reminder of the urgent need for better animal protection laws and stricter penalties for animal abuse. As the waves of disapproval swelled, they reached the ears of the authorities. Their initial response was swift, acknowledging the public's outrage and promising a thorough investigation into the incident. They reassured the public that such acts of cruelty would not be tolerated and those responsible would be held accountable. But beneath the assurances, questions lingered. The public, especially the animal rights advocates, wondered if the authorities would follow through on their promises. Would they conduct a thorough and impartial investigation? Would they ensure that the perpetrators face the full force of the law? The aftermath of the incident was a litmus test for the authorities. It was a chance for them to show that they were serious about protecting animal rights and punishing those who violated them. It was an opportunity to send a clear message to society that animal cruelty is a crime that carries severe penalties. But was this response enough to bring justice to the innocent baboon? The question hangs in the air, a reminder that the fight for justice is far from over. The aftermath has stirred emotions, sparked debates, and initiated calls for change. But until justice is served, the fight continues. As the dust settled, a new demand arose: stricter penalties for animal abuse. As we delve into the current state of animal rights in Saudi Arabia, it becomes clear that there is a dire need for more stringent laws and penalties. But why is this important? Well, it's because lenient penalties do not deter the perpetrators. They send a message that such horrific acts of cruelty are tolerable, when in fact they are not. In Saudi Arabia, the laws protecting animals are still in their infancy. The kingdom has made strides in introducing legislation to protect wildlife, but domestic animals and pets are often left in a gray area, unprotected. This gap in the law opens up opportunities for cruelty to go unpunished, as we've seen in the recent incident involving the torture of a baboon. Yet, there is hope. Animal rights advocates are not sitting idly by. They are tirelessly pushing for change, lobbying for laws that would impose stricter penalties on those who harm animals. They argue that these penalties should be severe enough to act as a deterrent, to make individuals think twice before inflicting harm on an innocent creature. The advocates are calling for penalties that go beyond mere fines. They want to see jail terms, community service, mandatory animal welfare education, and even bans on owning pets for those found guilty of abuse. They want to ensure that the punishment fits the crime and that the message is loud and clear. Animal abuse will not be tolerated. These advocates are the voice of the voiceless. They are the defenders of those who cannot defend themselves. They are the beacon of hope in a world that often turns a blind eye to the suffering of animals. They are the heroes who refuse to rest until justice is served. Yet the fight for justice is far from over. Now, more than ever, your voice matters. It's time to take a stand. It's time to be more than just an observer. It's time to become an active participant in the fight against animal abuse. We all have a part to play, and every action, no matter how small, can make a significant impact. You may wonder, how can I contribute? One of the most powerful tools we have is our voice. Use it to raise awareness about the horrific acts of animal cruelty that are happening in our world. Share the stories, the facts, the devastating statistics. Your voice can reach corners of the world that others can't. It can inspire change, ignite passion, and mobilize action. But don't stop at just raising awareness. Act. Sign petitions that call for stricter penalties against animal abusers. These petitions send a strong message to lawmakers that we, as a society, will not tolerate such heinous acts. Support animal rights organizations too. They are at the front line of this battle, rescuing abused animals, providing them with the care they need, and working tirelessly to change laws and protect all creatures, great and small. Your donations, your time, and your skills can be invaluable to these organizations. And finally, be conscious of your choices. Choose products that are cruelty-free. Choose to support companies that value animal welfare. Every decision we make can either contribute to the problem or be part of the solution. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow process, but with consistent efforts, we can shift the tide. We can create a world where animals are treated with the respect and kindness they deserve. Together we can make a difference. Stand up for those who can't speak for themselves. Demand justice for the innocent victims of animal abuse.